Hi everyone, welcome to the Uncommon Senses podcast. In this series, Sustainable Living Pod, we collaborate with Sustainable Smart Campus as a living lab in HKUST and explore technologies and projects by faculties and students that create a change to sustainability on campus and beyond. I'm your host, Telia. An average human spends around a third of their time asleep, yet due to demanding work schedules, high academic pressure, and rigorous study schedules, many Hong Kongers and students suffer from sleep deprivation. And recently, there's a rise of the concept of power naps to recharge and boost productivity. So joining us today is Susu, a research assistant and lab manager from the SSC project team Nap Pods. Let's dive in and see how these nap pods, located in the library and student center, promote sleep hygiene and improve mental health among students. Hi Susu, thank you so much for being here today with us. Perhaps you can introduce about yourself first?
Hello everyone, I am Susu.
Hello. So first, let's just jump right into your project. Can you provide an overview of the project Staying Smart by Taking a Nap? So what's the background and what's the motivation behind initiating this project?
Okay, so at the beginning, considering the large number of students and the remote location of the campus, it is challenging for students to find suitable places for napping or resting. We have observed that many students can only sleep on the desks in the library. So the existing two nap pods are frequently occupied, and the students just don't have enough spaces for rest. So poor sleep quality can potentially affect emotional regulation, academic performance, and overall well-being. Therefore, we hope to install more nap pods to meet the growing demand. We hope it can improve students' sleep quality and enhance their mental health and well-being.
Right. I mean, I totally agree. As a student here in HKUST, especially, we're recording this during the last few days of final season. I think HKUST students truly do sleep in the library common, and I've heard extreme stories where they brought their own little sleeping bag to sleep in the common.
Yeah, they just sleep like everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's really far from home as well. So I think a nap pod is quite a great solution to solve that kind of issue. So from the SSC project, I noticed that your project has two phases. Yeah. So what are these two phases? And let's just start with phase one first. Maybe what is phase one about and what are some of the results?
Okay, so in the phase one, it's just in a lab setting. We use electroencephalography, just EEG for short, to record brain activity during 90-minute nap in the lab. We also conduct a psycholinguistic test to assess changes in memory and effectiveness of learning new information. So we found that daytime napping enhances memory consolidation. So during the acquisition of new knowledge, it can help students improve their learning efficiency.
That's very interesting. Prior to this podcast recording, I actually also talked with Susu before, and she's a research assistant, mostly doing research in linguistics, but then they use their expertise in language learning to collect results on memory and learning abilities in this nap pod project. So if you can, maybe do you want to elaborate a little bit more on some of the results, empirical results that you found?
We compared young adults who took a nap during the day and those who did not. So we recorded their test performance and conducted statistical analysis. The findings showed a significant improvement of the performance among those who took daytime naps. So those adults without taking the nap did not show such improvements. Additionally, the EEG recordings during the nap showed enhanced brain activity. related to the memory consolidation during the acquisition of the new knowledge. So this suggests that daytime napping can help students improve their learning efficiency.
Right. I was curious, when you guys were doing the experiments, what was the setting like? Are basically, you collect participants and they're literally sleeping on a bed and with the, EEG thing?
Yeah, so participants, they enter our lab to do some computer-based tests, and then we're going to put an EEG cap on their head, so to record the brain activity during the nap, and then just let them lie down in the bed. Just let the computer to record the EEG signals.
That is so cool. You get paid to sleep in your research project about nap.
Yes, they're paid.
Right. I think that's a very interesting study that you did on phase 1. Especially, I didn't know that behind the NAPPROP project, there's actually so much scientific research that goes into this project as well. Then talk a little bit about phase 2. What is it?
Okay, so based on findings in phase 1, so in phase 2 we have set out 4 nap pods in the student center and the Lishoki library, so people can enjoy a 20-minute power nap in these nap pods. Once people lie down in the sleep pod and press the start button, the pod will adjust its height and begin a 20-minute countdown. During this time, smoothing and relaxing music will play. So at the end of the countdown, there will be a music to gently wake the users up. So and additionally, we have placed a QR code for a survey near the sleep pods to monitor changes in users' emotions and cognitive functions.
Right. So regarding the survey that you mentioned, what are some of the survey questions and what are the survey findings that you have in the implementation of NAPPODs in phase 2?
So based on questionnaire survey, we collected for about 1 year and a half and involving feedback from nearly 500 users. So about 40% of users fell asleep after using the sleep pods, with around 94% of them reporting a sleep quality of okay or above. So, but although not all users fell asleep, overall, around 80% of people experienced adequate rest or a boost of energy after using the nap pods. So we think taking a nap has proven benefits for both memory and mental well-being.
Right. So I guess a lot of people knows that sleep is good for cognitive and physical health. So what are some of the advanced knowledges that you guys have learned from this research project, and how does the project help us understand more on cognitive and even mental health?
So everyone knows sleep is good, but not everyone attaches great importance to it. So why? We know that nowadays there is a trade-off between sleep and study, which means students may sacrifice their sleep time in order to study harder or for a longer time. But here, I can provide an empirical experiment detail to illustrate why sleep is important. Perhaps knowing this detail will encourage everyone to sacrifice less sleep time. So in the analysis of EEG data, it has been found that certain parameters during the sleep stage can predict performance in the test. For example, the brain waves are associated with sleep stages. The more brain waves indicating deep sleep, the greater improvements in the people's test performance. So it's crucial not to sacrifice sleep time for the sake of studying a little more. Sometimes just get a good night's sleep. It might even lead to better learning outcomes.
Right. Well, I can definitely think of people, and personally, maybe I've done this myself. Like, I feel like I remember I've seen one student, and like she basically just studied the entire night without sleep, just
Wow.
pulled an all-nighter and just doing her codes because it was, I think, midterm season. And yeah, I definitely thought that was really unhealthy, first of all. And I think with like so much research to support that, I feel like, yeah, it's really important to have better like time management instead of, like cramming everything till the end and not having, a very high quality study time and also really bad sleep. And
Yes. So maybe personally, I think your friend maybe just when he or she studying for stay up late for studying, he just get short-term memory, but he just cannot consolidate the knowledge into a long-term memory.
Wow, I've heard of that before. Like, there's memories in like short term and long term, and if you cram it, then it's only gonna stay in your short term. But I don't know, like, I feel like a lot of studies that focus too much on like exam stuff, like people just want to pass the exam and like forget about everything. But
it's sufficient.
Yeah,
it's efficient. So
exactly.
Yeah, just for after pass the exam, then we just totally forget.
No, which is a little bit sad, I would say. But yeah, I think people should definitely change their views towards studying. And like, I feel like if you are able to convert that knowledge to long term, it will also help you in the long run when you're applying for positions that require you to recall these information that you've learned in class. Yeah, so as the NAPOD is available in HKUST, is it also available in other universities in Hong Kong? Because I think it was also available in PolyU before.
Yeah, maybe. And I have noticed some NAPODs in HKU. Yeah. So at the beginning, we just noticed numerous students sleeping on the desk in the library. So we aim to provide them with a sufficient facility for napping. So as member of UST, it's our duty to prioritize the well-being of our university community. So this led us to undertake the NAPOD project. But the NAPODs are supplied by a company and are not our own creation. So if other universities in Hong Kong have a need, so they can just purchase them and install the NAPODs.
So I also realized that on the Sustainable Smart Campus website that the NAPOD project also collaborate with HKUST's Counseling and Wellness Center. So how does that collaboration work between your research team as well as Counseling Center?
So we have two phases. During the phase 1, Professor Quentin Zhenqing and I are responsible for the phase 1 research. So we conducted several researches on the relationship between sleep and napping. So during the phase 2, it's an implementation phase. So Counseling and Wellness Center, they are responsible for the operation of the NAPODs, such as they help purchase the NAPODs and help the maintenance. And also, they are doing the operation of the booking system.
Okay, right. So what were some of the challenges faced in implementing the NAPOD system, such as like maintaining the hygiene? And how were these challenges overcome?
So regarding the hygiene concerns, we address this issue in the NAPOD user manual. We instruct every user to wipe down the NAPOD after each use.
Yeah.
And also cleaning staff conduct regular maintenance and cleaning of the NAPODs.
Right. I think one time I was like recording a reel for SSC, and then I really thought no one will be using the nap pods, but turns out they're all occupied. So I feel like definitely that time I thought, oh, the hygiene issue is probably, something that people might have concerns over. And I think you guys need to take off the shoes to use the nap pod as well to ensure the hygiene. So yeah, just like everyone who's using it, please make sure you try to keep it sanitized.
Yeah, everyone is responsible for keeping the hygiene concerns.
Definitely. So as this project is, not just about napping, but also taps a little bit into mental health problems and concerns, what is your perspective on, these kind of serious issues in the HKUST campus?
So we hope that implementation of the nap pods can enhance the campus learning and working experience for the UST community. So we provide dedicated space to fulfill their power nap needs. So we based on the questionnaire survey, it's shown that this initiative has yielded positive results. Yeah, so in the fast-paced life of Hong Kong, we aim for this project to raise awareness about the benefits of power napping.
Right. Yeah, I think power napping has definitely become a more popular topic that people do. And I feel like, speaking of, mental health and also taking good rest, I feel like it's definitely a serious issue in the HKUST campus. And I feel like every single stakeholder should, kind of care a little bit more about this issue. And personally, I definitely have also dealt with mental health problems. Particularly, I was feeling anxious very often because, I think a lot of university students definitely feel the stress of maintaining a good grade and especially, worries about future and job search. So, I definitely learned a lot from my counselor in HKUST's, Counseling and Wellness Center. And, she taught me a little trick for anxiety called I don't know what it's called, but she just said it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So whenever you're feeling some feelings of anxious, then you should try and search for 5 different colors in the environment you're in, 4 different sounds, 3 different textures, and 2 different scents, and 1 kind of taste that you can experience. So it's grounding yourself so you're not lost in your mind that's wandering in places where you're worried about stuff that probably don't really happen. And I would say journaling also really helps, and also talking with your friends. And I feel like having nap pods or even the presence of them can certainly provide a reminder or an alleviation of stress and pressure for sure.
Yeah. So the ways you mentioned just about mindfulness, just drag yourself back into the reality. Yeah.
So going back to the nap pod, what are some of the future plans for the nap pod project? And, what are your future solutions to keep this going?
So the project it's going to end. So the nap pods will continue to be located at the venues and are accessible to all USC faculty, staff, and students. So they can provide an alternative option to relax. So we are considering some outreach activities such as workshops or exhibitions. So stay tuned for our outreach activities.
Cool. I'm glad to know that your team is doing a lot more than just having a nap pod on campus, but you're extending that to different activities as well. So, as my podcast is called The Uncommon Senses, throughout this project, did you come across any uncommon or surprising insights related to sleep, mental health, or student behavior?
So yeah, of course. So it's surprised that people of all age groups are sleeping less and less. So we do some sleep researches. Some are focused on the young adults in Hong Kong. So based on data we gathered, many young people frequently stay up late, sleeping only 5 to 6 hours per day, and they do not take daytime naps. So I believe that people in Hong Kong may not prioritize sleep quality and daytime napping enough. So, and another study is focusing on the elderly population in Hong Kong. So older adults experience sleep deprivation due to difficulties falling asleep and poor sleep quality. So maybe if individuals can become fully aware of the harm of insufficient sleep, they may take actions to improve sleep quality and ensure an adequate amount of sleep. So I think education and awareness campaigns need to continue to promote a better understanding and appreciation of sleep health.
Right. Totally agree on the fact that, I feel like people sleep a lot less, especially in Hong Kong. It's like there's one is probably like for working and stuff. They feel like, I think like you mentioned previously, people feel like sleeping means you're wasting time and you're being unproductive. Like you should use the sleep time to study or revise or do some more work. And but I feel like from your studies and what you've shared with us, sleeping is actually so much more than just taking the time and do nothing. It's really a time for you to recharge as well. I'm very curious. I'm very surprised by the, elderly in Hong Kong also face these kind of issues of sleep deprivation, because I feel like my grandparents, like they sleep really well and they sleep very early, wake up early and healthy. But I was really surprised by that fact that,
Oh, so based on our research data, a lot of older adults, they wake up for a couple of times in night.
Right.
Yeah.
So were there any lessons or interesting experience that you learned while working on this project that you would like to share?
So personally, I am from a small town in mainland China. So people there always take a nap, but I found that almost nobody takes a nap during the day in Hong Kong. So in order to assimilate into the local culture here, I also developed a habit of not napping and consider taking a nap as a waste of time. So, and I even drink coffee to avoid feeling drowsy in the afternoon. However, after being involved in this project, my perspective on the napping changed, and I no longer see it as a waste of time. Now I feel when I feel tired at noon, I just take a short nap. So this is the lesson I've learned from this project. And I also hope that when others feel the need to take nap, just embrace it and do not feel guilty.
Right. Oh, I love that. I love how you're taking care of yourself through napping and taking the time to, really recharge. Yeah, I think, so I grew up also in Beijing, and I was really, napping every single, lunch break, and then we have compulsory, napping sessions. But the funny thing is, I feel like none of us took it very seriously, because we were really young, and then we have a lot of energy as primary school students, and then we just we would cover ourselves with our jacket and read books in the dark.
So do you think adults adults need taking a nap more than the children?
I think I read somewhere newborn babies, they sleep a lot, and then gradually they sleep a lot less. But I do feel like nowadays adults do need to take a nap, because they have a lot more work to do. They have a lot more things and responsibilities that really need them to recharge. I think, I definitely value the nap time that I had when I was in primary school.
Yeah, so maybe you would think you're doing nothing when you're taking a nap. But actually, your brain is having a rest, and also your memory is like doing some consolidation work. Yeah, it means like just I mentioned before, your memory is doing something like transferring the short-term memory things into the long-term memory.
Right. During sleep.
Yeah, during sleep.
Wow, our brain is really cool. But I feel like the whole thing is not just, as individuals, we need to raise awareness of, the issue of, having enough sleep and enough rest. But I feel like, because if you're working and like everyone else is, doing their work and you're just suddenly napping in office, I feel like you definitely get some, people probably can question like, why are you napping? You should take this time to be more productive. So I feel like maybe it's not just an individual issue, but really like people's attitudes overall needs to change.
Yes, it's about culture. Culture. Yeah. So maybe just your boss may question you for taking a nap, but the people around you, maybe your colleagues, may not. If they do, it's because of the culture.
That is so true. Yeah, working culture, it's a huge thing. And I think here's just some like general questions, because I see that you have been working primarily in the space of, linguistics research. You've been doing that since your bachelor's degree. So I think just very curious, how is that like? Especially I think in HKUST, most of us comes from, science or engineering or a business school. So I'm very curious to know, how is that like, studying, and what are some of the, things that you're very interested in? How is your progress or process like from studying it to now becoming a research assistant?
I know, like many people just curious about a linguistic. They just consider a linguistic as arts. But actually, for linguistic research, we have empirical study. Many people just surprised that, you're doing experiments too. Yes, so linguistic research is also a science. We have data analysis. So for our research, we are doing some linguistic research, just combine it with the psychology. We use psycholinguistic methods to conduct the experiments, and also we use EEG. This is an equipment to measure the brain activity. So this is the combination between the sleep and language learning.
Right. Yeah, since you guys are also using language learning in your phase 1 of the study to collect results, right?
Yes.
So thank you, Susu, for the discussion on the NAPPOD project today. And it's very interesting to see all the research done on the NAPPOD project. And, it's not just a simple NAPPOD for students to rest, but also related to some issues like mental health. So make sure to follow Sustainable Smart Campus's socials, that is SSC_HKUST on Instagram, and we will see you next time on the Uncommon Senses. And also, this is the last official episode of the Sustainable Smart Campus.
Yeah.
So thank you, Susu.
Thank you.
Thank you, CLE.
Okay, that's all.
Good.